G'day viewers, how are you this fine weekend? I feel like we're back on everyone's favourite game show. How totally fucked up is the world? And top of the list is, has Trump sunk himself yet? Because the Trump shit show has been something truly astounding to behold. No matter what fucking disaster Trump leaves in his wake. Yeah, I imagine historians will look at it and go, at least he provided something unexpected. He provided stuff that, you know, the accepted wisdom said wasn't possible. Like, candidate Trump, accepted wisdom told us repeatedly wasn't possible. Republicans, the Republican establishment, Fox News, talking heads, all said Trump isn't going to be the candidate for the Republican Party. But he was, and he won the election, and then continued to do shameless shit. Like, such blatant criminality that just blows the mind. And he and his cronies appear to think they're going to get away with it. Fuck knows. Maybe they will. I ceased to be confident in any prediction a long time ago because basic common sense doesn't seem to apply. Trump has repeatedly been exposed in thought, action, deed to be something that was regarded as not acceptable in a US president. But here we are! And most recently, the news that one of his former chief of advisors, General Flynn, was cooperating with investigators and had admitted lying to the FBI about interactions with Russia. Everyone's going, well, he's fucked now. And yeah, logic would suggest that Trump will ultimately be completely fucked. But how much sway has logic held in the last year? Honestly. But the big stir is, it's not just that Flynn has admitted lying to the FBI, has admitted wrongdoing, and is cooperating. It's that whole thing with the people who've been charged by Mueller, the special investigator. That's theatre as much as anything. It's sort of like, these are the first people we're charging, and this is not the end of the deal. This is not our score. This is dangling to everyone else in the Trump administration like, this is what we got, motherfuckers. Imagine what they're spilling on you now, and we are coming for you next. And Trump insanely tweeted, I know, okay, the phrase Trump insanely tweeted is just a day-by-day thing. But it blows my mind when he does stuff that is destructive to him. Being destructive to other people, sure, but stuff that's destructive to him. And tweeting that the reason he sacked Flynn was that he lied to the FBI seems to be pretty fucking stupid, because it was after Trump sacked Flynn that former FBI Director Comey said in his notes, Trump tried to get me to drop any investigation of Flynn. So what Trump has openly said is, hey, I knew Flynn had lied to the FBI, and I told my FBI director to go easy on him, and then I sacked my FBI director because he wouldn't go easy on him. That, to a lot of people, seems like open-shut obstruction of justice, which is a fairly serious offence. But when I first saw that, I thought, okay, Trump cannot be listening to his lawyers, because even just the most vaguely competent lawyer's first piece of advice to someone like Trump, who's under serious investigation and is looking at serious jail time, is shut the fuck up. There's my t-shirt. It's not all fitting in. Shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. Don't comment on investigations. But particularly, don't say, oh yeah, I knew that guy was a liar, when I told the FBI not to investigate him. But since that's first come out, there's been a report that it was Trump's lawyer who drafted that. If that's true, lawyer in the world. Trump's lawyer has gone, I should put together a tweet that is all but admitting to obstruction of justice. This is so fucking weird. Like, this is so hard to wrap my head around. Like, this administration is like criminality from top to bottom. From really shallow venal things to these god-awful tax cuts they're talking about, which will benefit Trump to the tune of millions of dollars, even though he just blatantly lies and says it won't. It will, and will fuck over everyone but the super rich, and I don't know, probably destroy the American economy and by extension the world economy, but hey, you know, fuck, whatever, you know, post-apocalyptic wasteland, we're all gonna fucking die. That seems to be what's going to be the lasting legacy of this administration, the complete collapse of human civilization, something to look forward to. It's like, from the most venal, like, cutting awful deals. Every time Ivanka Trump appears anywhere, they try to sell the jewelry and clothes she was wearing on a website, just to really tacky, through to the sort of betrayal of the United States and colluding with a hostile foreign power for your own power and personal gain. So the criminality, top to bottom, from the littlest things to the biggest things, absolutely mind-blowing. And one of my favourite things I read this week was some lawyers talking about the Mueller's investigative team and how calm they are, how happy they are, how casual they are. They even make jokes. They're so measured and controlled. And lawyers have said, oh, if prosecutors are ever that calm and that happy on a case I'm working on, my natural conclusion is, oh my God, my client is so fucked. These guys are so confident, they're all but laughing in my face at how they're going to stitch up this prosecution. But, you know, it remains to be seen. Like I said, logic, common sense, say Trump's going down. Mueller and his team will work through people one by one. It's like, okay, Flynn's gonna turn over Jared Kushner, and then they're going to pull Jared Kushner in and go, okay, well, who can you turn over so we reduce your jail sentence? The obvious ultimate target is Trump himself. And there is a lot of evidence around that they could potentially start charging Trump now, but they're not gonna charge Trump until they've got a rock solid sealed case that he cannot escape from. I mean, that's the hope. I just worry about how much damage will happen in the meantime, but that's the hope, that Trump and his cronies do go down, but they'll have done so much damage in the meantime that their demise will be all but pointless, because we'll all be fucked in the meantime. I often get idiots saying, like, why are you so concerned about what American politics happens? You're not American. How many fucking countries are your armed forces in, for a start? What America's effect on the world economy affects everyone. So fucking idiocy from an American administration is the concern of everyone in the fucking world. And shit-eating gutter monkeys who are busy fucking farm animals and ignoring reality, telling me I shouldn't speak about American politics. Fuck you, you morons. You shouldn't speak about American politics because you're too fucking stupid. People who are being affected by it have a right to say shit. And also, it's just more... I mean, what's the most interesting thing happening in Australian politics? Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull being made to look like a fucking loser. Because this was actually pretty funny. Everyone but the establishment in the government had been pushing for a royal commission into the banking industry in Australia on the assumption they're a bunch of criminals. Now, for those who don't know the legal system that has royal commissions, this is the British and the Australian system, a royal commission is fairly strong because it's both an investigative and prosecuting body. So a royal commission can look into something to see if there's criminal wrongdoing, and then they can prosecute the people who they decide are guilty. And in this case, the people running the banks. And as recently as Tuesday, Turnbull was saying, no banking royal commission. But then it became obvious that his own backbenchers, notably people from rural areas of the National Party, who, surprise, surprise, country people think they're getting well and truly fucked over by banks. His own backbenchers and the Labor opposition and the independents on the crossbenchers were going to get together, and they would have enough numbers to force a royal commission, and with their own terms of reference. So Turnbull's, after, like I said, as recently as Tuesday, saying definitely no royal commission into banking. Certainly royal commission into banking. But they seem determined to fuck it, which is not surprising because they've been trying to protect the banks despite the way the banks fuck everyone over. And even to where semi-sentient potato Peter Dutton has been saying, oh, you know what, a royal commission into banking would be a good opportunity to look into union interference with superannuation funds. Because this is a big thing. Again, superannuation, very complicated, not easy to explain, sure. But basically, it's people's self-funding their retirement. You put a little bit of your pay away each week, goes into a superannuation fund. If that's badly managed, you'll lose all that money and you won't have any at retirement. If it's well managed, you'll have a lot of money at retirement. Now, there's a group called industry super funds. There's not-for-profit. These are the ones that unions are often involved in, and they have consistently made better returns for their members than super funds run by financial advisors and banks and whatnot. And the banks have been trying to get into these super funds for ages, and they haven't been able to, but now the Liberals seem like they're going to let them. And so it's really weird. Finally, yay, a royal commission into banking, and yet the Liberals seem to want to use it to, oh, this is meant to stand up for the little guy from what the big banks have been doing, but I think we'll use it and pervert it to the point we actually use it to let the banks fuck over the little guy. It's absolutely absurd. And it is sick and wrong and fucked. It's not as spectacular as what's happening with Trump, but it is pretty fucked. Which, you know, really just goes to show pretty much no matter where you are in the world, it's all totally fucked up.